Morning, y'all. Welcome to another video on Luderco Arms channel. Today we're going to go over something pretty basic, which is drilling and tapping some holes so that you can thread a bolt into them. So if you've been watching the channel, you know we've been building all these carts for the high school band, or rebuilding them. And so now I've got these plates here. I got the places marked. I got one done already, but I need to drill and tap these so that we can bolt these casters on here. And so I figured might as well give a very basic class on drilling a basic hole. So we're drilling and tapping these for a 3/8 bolt, which, if you don't know, is a bolt that the 9/16 wrench fits on. So you got to have a tap. So this is a 3/8 16 coarse thread tap. This is what it looks like. And you need a tap holder, which in this case I am using the socket style, 3/8 drive socket style tap holder. There's a bunch of different kinds. I'll show you. Should go over here to this. You got all kinds of tap holders. You can do a little ratchet kind, standard kind. For some of your bigger ones, you got a two-handled type deal. But for what we're doing right here today, the little socket one works pretty good. So we got our tap and our tap holder, a little ratchet, and then you're going to need to drill the right size hole. So what you want to do is get you a tap drill chart like this one, and then you can look up. So we're going to do a 3/8 bolt, and we look over here, 3/8 16 threads per inch, and follow the chart over, and you got two choices. You got 75% thread for aluminum, brass, soft stuff, and 50% thread for steel and stainless steel and cast iron, which is what we want. And so we know, we can look at the chart here and see we need a Q drill bit. And so that's what's in the drill right here, a Q. And then I got a smaller drill to drill out a pilot hole. And you can see I've already center punched all these, so I know where I want my hole. So the first step, once we get the camera set up here, the first step is going to be, get this where I want it. There we go. Drill the pilot hole. And what the pilot hole does is, when you're drilling a bigger hole, it just kind of makes it easier. So we get that in our center punch mark there. Alright, so that's our pilot hole drilled. And now we'll swap to our Q-sized drill bit. Now, something I like to do when I'm drilling a hole where I know the larger the hole, the more this drill bit's going to catch. And so if you put your drill, see if you can see this here. So if you're drilling, that's going to go clockwise, the drill bit. So your drill is going to want to turn this way. And if this catches, it's going to try to twist it out of your hand, and people have broken their wrists before. What I like to do is stick it up against my leg. That way, if it does catch, it's held solid. So we'll go ahead and drill our Q hole. There we go. Oh, and I should probably mention I do put oil on the drill bits. That's what the little bit of smoke is. Just helps them not to overheat. Okay. One second. Ah, there it is. Alright, something I like to do is take you a counterbore bit and just kind of just a little bit, just to break that rough edge on your hole there. So now we're ready to tap this thing. So we're going to take our tap, we're going to put a little oil on it. And this is Rapid Tap. You can get Tap Magic, any kind of, I mean, hell, you could use motor oil, probably work probably just as good. So we're going to put that in there. And the thing here is you don't want to push down on this. Just let it catch on its own. And once it starts, it may move around just a hair, but you want it to basically catch on its own, and it will pretty much guide itself down the hole. Now, as you're turning this, you'll notice this start to get tight. So then you back it up and you'll feel it right there. You'll feel it break that. And what that is that's threading. It's cutting pieces of metal off of the inside of that hole to make the threads, and those pieces of metal will start to jam the tap, and that's when you just back it up a little bit and break, and you're basically breaking those little pieces of metal off inside there. And if you're doing a hole, this is a through hole, so the little pieces will fall out the other end. But if you're doing a blind hole, you may even have to pull your tap all the way out and blow it out with some compressed air to get that sharp out of there. But the biggest thing is you got to feel this thing. You don't want to break the tap off. If it starts to get tight, you want to stop and find out why. You don't want to force it and break that thing off. And you see I'm using my thumb here. That's so that when I'm pulling on this, I'm not pulling it over. I'm keeping the turning action going straight down. Once you've made it all the way through, then you'll know it, because it'll get real easy to turn. You can see I can turn this thing with just one finger. And then we can run that back out of there. And there we go. Now we have a tapped hole, and we can test it out with our bolt here. Run it down in there just like so. Yep, there we go. So I figured since I got to drill and tap all these holes, I might as well show y'all how to do it in case you don't know. And that's it. So now I'm going to get the rest of these done so I can move on to other things. But hopefully this little video has helped somebody out, gave you the basics of drilling and tapping a hole in some steel. And we'll see you in the next video. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all watching.